Dr. Follow-up segment tonight, Muslim immigration survey by Chatham House of more than 10,000 Europeans. Kind of shocking. Poll was taken before President Trump's executive order was announced on January 27th, constraining refugees from 7 predominantly Muslim countries. Chatham survey asked, do you think all further migration from mainly Muslim countries should be stopped in Europe? 55% say yes. Just 20% say no. 25% didn't answer. Joining us from Washington, Dr. Niall Gardner, director of the Heritage Foundation's Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom. So what does that survey tell you, Doctor, and is it a legitimate organization, Chatham?
Well, it's certainly a legitimate organization. This is a very powerful poll. Chatham House, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, is arguably Britain's most prestigious think tank. So this is a very, very serious survey by a serious institution. It also covers 10,000 people across 10 countries throughout Europe. So it's a very, very big survey. And I think it's one of the most important surveys that we've seen in Europe in recent years with regard to attitudes towards immigration, and also reflecting tremendous fear, anxiety in Europe with regard to the huge influx of refugees that have come into Europe over the last 2 years. So this is a big poll which does reflect, I think, widespread concern with regard to mass immigration into Europe and also with regard to the refugee crisis.
Now, the low number, that's what surprised me. 55%, I wasn't that surprised because there are a lot of social problems associated with the Muslim migration into Europe. But there's, 20% say, yeah, we want to continue this. That's probably just the Muslims themselves, right?
I mean, it's a striking figure there, Bill. And there's no doubt about it. I think the wave of Islamist terror attacks that we have seen across Europe, from France to Belgium to Germany, in the last couple of years have had a huge impact. And without a doubt, I think that, there's a real sense of foreboding across much of Europe, and a real concern that there are more Islamist terror attacks to come. And so I think that poll really captures that sense of fear. And I think that there are concerns, of course, on both sides of the Atlantic with regard to the broader Islamist threat. And of course, the recent executive order by the White House reflected that as well. And so there are common concerns, common fears on both sides.
But in America, it's like 50-50 about that order. But in Europe, this is bad news for the Angela Merkel set and the liberal politicians. If this is true and this holds, you're going to see a stream of right-wing politicians seize power in Europe and a bunch of other countries.
Yeah, I think it's ironic that you've seen, for example, Angela Merkel, Francois Hollande, for example, the leaders of Germany and France, condemning President Trump over his executive order, while at home, of course, there is huge concern and fear over the refugee issue and mass immigration. And without a doubt, I think you do have European elites in power who are deeply out of touch with their own populations, and the open borders policy implemented by Angela Merkel.
That's what led to Brexit.
Which led to 1.3 million refugees flowing into Germany. This has had a huge impact across Europe, and I think there's been a widespread rejection of Merkel's open borders approach by most European publics.
All right, Doctor, we appreciate it as always. Thank you.